Hello coders, programmers, and developers. Thank you for taking the time. Our next tutorial in this series, Get Java, is to learn about the primitive data types in Java. Now Java is an object-oriented programming language, and where everything that is built into memory is an object, and except for the 8 primitive data types. These come pre-packaged and predefined in the Java language for us to use. It's important to understand these basic 8 data types because the idea is that if you went to the cupboard to get a glass for yourself because you wanted a drink of, let's say, milk, some good almond milk from the refrigerator, you want to go get a Olympic-sized swimming pool, right? Because you wanted just a glass of milk for yourself. Well, when we talk about data types, what we're doing are defining container sizes for memory, okay, for the object that's being built in memory, and that's the idea. So right from the beginning here, Boolean is the basic form. Being that CPU runs on zeros and ones, a Boolean data type is a 0 or 1. Okay, it means true or false, and that holds 1 bit. The byte is 8 bits, and that's what the memory addresses are in your RAM, the random access memory. The short is twice the byte, so that's 16 bits. Int is twice that, so that's 32 bits. And then a long is twice that, which is 64 bits. Of course, this is going up, doubling, because we are using base 2, zeros and ones. Now a float is a floating point decimal. And that's, let's see here, it's a 32-bit floating point decimal, and the double is twice that, which is 64 bits in memory. And a character can have up to the value 65,535. I just happened to remember that because I was just reading that online. But those are characters like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and that are. So let's do an example here, and let's define a Boolean. We'll call it my Boolean, and we'll set it equal to true. Okay. We're going to define a byte. Call it my byte. And then let's set this to. It can hold anything. Let's set it at 16. These are numbers. Okay, all these are numbers. This one is going to be a character. So what we can do is just double this, my int. Now Java has this funny looking convention called camel case for variable names. Okay. And this again would be double that, which is 32. So that's what we're doing here. And then a long will be my long, camel case type, and it's going to be, and next one after that is double, my double, and it has 64 bits. So if we wanted to print this out, each one, we would go system dot out dot print line. Let's put a word in here so we know what we're talking about. Oh, let's start with Boolean. Okay, for the Boolean one, let's make our syntax correct. Control S to save. Now I can copy this. Whoops, I want to make sure I get the whole thing of it. Paste. Control V to paste, and we'll just go with 1. Okay, this is a character. To define it, it's just CHR, my character, equals, we'll say A, the alpha. Okay. Now this is going to be my character, and it's not going to be a bit value. Control S. Let's get to our terminal. Let's clear this up from last one. Let's hit our command up arrow to get the last command. Let's compile this. And it works just fine, so let's run it. Okay. Boolean is true, byte has 8 bits, short has 16 bits, int has 32 bits, long has 64 bits, float has 32.0 bits, double has 64.0 bits, and a character is, there it is, Control S. Character is A. So in a quick way, we can see that the distinction here between these two right here have decimals. A floating point and a double has decimals. It's a floating point decimal, and a double is twice the size container of the floating point decimal, so they're both decimals. And that's a little bit about the 8 primitive types in Java. The point here to remember is that if you just need a glass size container for your milk, you don't need to get an Olympic size swimming pool, okay, to hold your object. That would be a waste of space. Not very good programming practice, right? So give us a like, give us a thumbs up. You know what to do. Stay awesome and share love.